shouldn't have laid. Shouldn't have laid down and rested. It's a big mistake. I always before the class when I do that, I always get too damn tired. Okay, ana gadi wahi ga joko so wadam sius nyardi. Gazita ansrio yojets ka wenoji on dujets going to start or not roni. Retino wada du gorunga kari agesu. Yeti sota. Alltså tanka garako dana yetin stans even zage dana goigo skat ne ganungwe. Retino wada du a guides ni ganyat de geru dana goigo o quadzere o no kosuma. Retino wada du yeti sota gunhan ner on the headstone ne gani go rio de hawakwe. I onki at again ha dam dawe aron hetsen because it's tasser ne ganungwe. Dam dawe aron hetsen ne asset ni got darge ne ganyanga haga. Razinyato na tahroni dana riskrevo ge dana dam dawe aron hetsen ne agoigo on gordon na gayan rasra go ne skana dana skana garivo gori shunsera kazat stasera dana garivo gori shunsera dano dam dawe aron hetsen ne gani go rio ne gayan wana. Okay, so as always, as you know, whenever we get together for a meeting, council, anything of importance, we always have to do a Honda Gari Wadekwa first. This is where we identify and give thanks to the things in creation that have created us and the things we need to continue to sustain us. And so we always begin in the same way, offering our thanks from our origins, from Sky Woman herself, right through the beating heart of our Mother Earth, our grandmother Moon, to our Mother Earth, to all the women from the newest born baby girl to the eldest grandmother, as they carry the sacred title of life giver into the world. Now, I want to expand on that a little bit because this has been on my mind as we are coming up to not only the end of this cycle for this year, but we are coming to the end of a great cycle, which means the beginning of a new cycle. So yeah, we're beginning a new cycle from when we're thinking on a yearly basis. Yes, every year cycle renews. But if you think, for instance, like if you think from the perspective of a decade or the perspective of a century, then you know that within a decade, well, from the first year, you know that transition from the first to the second year, that's a repeat process, and you wouldn't think anything until you get to the 9th year, where you know that you're not going to be able to be referencing things any longer from within that concept of decade. No longer will you be referencing things from within that. Even though you will still be alive, our life overlaps from being partially in, like right now, where our life is in this year, and then when we transfer, of course, our life is going to continue into the next year. So our life is part of the previous great cycle, and will transfer into the next great cycle. Now, this is something that it's not thought of. You can't really think of it or appreciate it, I mean, into its fullest extent, because when you're, again, if you're thinking just from within that decade, you're saying, okay, this is a new year. But to think that this is a new year from within not only one cycle, but a new year from a previous old great cycle to the next new great cycle. This is something that we haven't had, none of us have been able to ever think about this or ever even give reference to it. Like right now, if we say, you've been hearing me say quite a bit, the end of this great cycle. Well, you're never going to be able to say this again. this is done now in what, a week and a half, 2 weeks. I don't know when the new moon is, but it's very close. So we're looking at a process that ends and renews within a 2-week time frame. So just think of that. If you knew that, like if you were going on vacation and you know you're only there for 2 weeks, well, the first day you're there, you might even rest. You might not even get up to go see the sights. Come the last day, you might be accustomed to where you're at now. You might just get to have known what it is you like to do or want to do when you're on that particular vacation. So this is a very important time, not just of transition of, like we said, from one cycle into the next, of 1 year to the next, but this is a very important time of transition right across the board, because everything that is in transition. So it's not just us, everything is transitioning. So if you can imagine like a big giant cruise ship that's tied off to the dock, it's got a whole bunch of different ropes keeping the ship tied to the dock. Well, all the transition that's happening now, in order for that ship to move, that giant thing to move, all of these individual things have to let go. And so this is where we are in creation, whether we are cognizant of it or not. You've heard me utilize the example many times about either a lobster or a snake, a lobster shedding its shell or a snake shedding its skin, and given the comparisons there. So all of life is in this transition. But what I wanted to expand on was about the mothers, about the life givers. That when we say this is the life giver's world, it's the body that is the life giver. The life giver has given birth to us, and we exist within her body, because me, though I'm male and I'm in this body, this is the body that my mother has created and given to me, and the heart that she has given to me, and the blood, so on and so on, and the spirit. And so truly the male lives within the female body, and the female body being, if you're thinking of here on earth, the female body being the body of life, what is referred to as Saoirda, the all things living. And so all things living, as they are going to go through this transition, they're going to let go also. Let go of the old and become the new. It's not something they're going to latch onto. You unlatch, let go of the old to become the new thing. So this is where the sacred transition of the shedding the skin, shedding that body. It is the female's body, but the function of doing that is the male. It's the male's function to release that, because the female function is to create, is to grow. The realm of the decay and all of that, this is in the realm of the male. So the transition that's going to happen, that everybody letting go, we may not realize this, we may not ever think this, but inside of us, let's say there's 100 hooks inside of us that are hanging on to our previous life, everything that we know, all your memories, everything you've done, everything you've experienced, all of that. So just imagine inside of you, whatever's letting go. Yes, this is a male thing that is happening, but it is happening. It's a function that the female has created in order for her to grow, to continue. So she sheds. Now, what does she shed? We think of this truly on the tiniest scale and on the largest scale, like a lobster shedding its shell or a snake shedding its skin. Truly, what they are shedding is themselves. They are shedding the essence of themselves, of their being. And so this is the magic of the life giver, of how she grows, how she can put the beautiful experience, how that has to be put behind us in order for us to transition and to grow to become the next thing, in order for life to continue growing. So yes, it is a male. It's like a wrench, like that's being used to say tighten or loosen a screw. Well, the screw, the body is the female, but the wrench is the male, in order to facilitate the growth of that living body of the female. So we're in a time of sacred functions, things that we might not even understand, where up becomes down, left becomes right, where inside becomes out. This is a time of confusion for a lot of people, a time of uncertainty. But if you are within the flow of the natural rhythms of things, then it's sort of like being on a roller coaster ride. It may be the most exciting or even scariest roller coaster ride, but you know you're on a set track. You know that if you stay inside of the cart with your seatbelt on and you don't put your hands out and try to get up and try to jump out the moment that you see a sharp turn coming or a big dip, that you know that you'll be safe. Now, when you go to an amusement park to get terrified on the world's craziest roller coaster, you're not going to try jumping off, because you know that you're, like we said, you're in a set track. You're safe. Same thing within creation here. As we are approaching this time, like we said, for some, it will become confusing. It will be a time of separation. For others, it will be a time of coming together, of finding their way. Others will be lost. So this time of transition is a complete female function, a female part of the brain, part of the body, where maybe like the equivalent of where the male gives reference to the imbalance, the hormonal imbalance, the way they give reference to it, of what takes place in the female body in order for her to give birth to new life, in order for her to become something new, something other, to evolve, to learn from all of that which is there, and to evolve it, to make it become something more complete, something more, a more complete experience, more defined, more almost like the equivalent of getting closer and closer to home. If the previous great cycles where, if you can say, the first, second, third steps to getting home, well, then this is, who knows, maybe the fourth, maybe the 100th, maybe the 1000th step to getting us closer to home, making us more complete, giving us more complexity to our existence, which makes us more, again, more evolved, more able to have the best possible living experience that we could have. Now, so far, it has been, as humans in this form, we are able to have the most complete living experience up until now. The people of the Longhouse have fine-tuned it to ridding this world, ridding our physical reality of war, to be able to evolve for us to evolve with the cycle, so that if say like a race with 10 people, that one might be way out in the front, and others may be straggling behind. Well, within the Longhouse, what has happened is that we, through establishing peace, putting war behind us, we have brought all people up to on the same level where we all evolve together. And so in this form, within the Longhouse, we were able to attain our best living experience, the best way to experience life. Now we're in transition, and we might see that at the end of this cycle, that the human is actually destroying, making the living experience a bad thing, a negative thing. And so maybe we are going to be evolving out of humanity. Or maybe now that it has been done this way, as in an abominative way, where it's not natural, maybe this is a forced devolution, which we are going through. Somebody reversing the natural processes. Because we know that when we look around in this world, that obviously it's not the natural rhythms and cycles that naturally occur out of creation that are in control. Something else right now is in control, attacking these things and destroying it all. And so we are at a very delicate place in time where no matter which way we move, we are either going to be assisting or going against, no matter what we do now. So in this time, it is a time of choosing wisely, a time of just allowing yourself to be like on that roller coaster, being pulled through this ride. Allow it to direct you, to drive you, to guide you. And so this is where we find ourselves, where I find myself, where Waiakera finds himself, talking all the time from our mother's voice. That this is the thing that I know for me gives me my, I wouldn't say certainty, but I'll say when I follow my mother's voice, I don't have to ever have any kind of uncertainty or doubt. It's like being in that roller coaster ride, and I just know, put my seatbelt on, keep my arms and legs inside, don't get scared, don't try to jump out, and everything is gonna be just fine. And so with the people of the Longhouse, this is our way. It is to honor and respect our mother's voice. So that is going to be our first word here for tonight, our first sentence. Let's see, let's get the proper word in here. The way of the people of the Longhouse is to follow our mother's voice. I got something in my throat. Yeah, I don't go to sleep anymore an hour before. Okay, so we're going to put something in front of that. We're going to work around from that. We might go ahead, we might go behind.
In front, you mean before?
Huh?
In front, you mean before?
Yeah. As we approach the end of the great cycle, then we'll say the transition is the same as the yearly cycle is. Our mothers tell us,
The same other phrase.
yeah, in the same place. We must have all issues resolved from the previous cycle before going into the next. We put them.
No, there's no more room
No.
for now.
There's something that we're gonna address tonight that we never seen before, or we never addressed it before or talked about it, about those in-between times. And you'll see where it is, where that in-between time is, by the proper reference that's gonna come up. There's gonna be a reference to ceremonial time. And when we say it, you're gonna know it as the in-between time, the transition. Like if you're going into somebody's house that's got a vestibule, you're not in their house and you're not outside. You're in the vestibule. You're in the in-between transition. I got something sharp in my throat. Feels like almost like shell from popcorn, you know? See?
Maybe it's from the shrimps.
Oh, maybe, yeah, sure.
You know, like the back of the tail sometimes tastes good.
Maybe. It's like it's right here. I can't. Can't get it out of there.
Wow. Is that for the whole thing, Waigero?
Yeah.
Holy macaroni, okay.
Hey, which thing do I push there? The blue one
The
or the
blue.
white one? The blue one?
Yeah.
I'm conjugating a lot of words, so it's their English is not just going to fit in there. I mean,
Yeah.
just put the English in there.
Conjugate, conjugate.
Okay, so I'm gonna break it like that and then I'll break it more because it's a little bit too much.
I was gonna say, because you guys are there at the time of transition, remind me of your discretion.
Sorry, Harold, we could barely hear you. Like, I guess it's our volume too, but
Can you say that again?
I was gonna say this time of transition in between times reminds me of your discretion, the knowledge of transition. Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I remember talking about it in the Nawa language too. Is the Naaman Tami or something like that.
Edith, that the Yutstenyu Hajj ne Saga, the Yutstenyu Hajj ne Saga is separate.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there, yeah.
Okay.
You want to break it now? Geo,
Zero.
Geo, Dokta,
Dokdaji. No, I think you can leave that in one. Dokdaji.
okay. All right, it's up to you. Doktaje, Goana, the Yutstenyu, the Yutste, New, Hajj, and then Ne Saga, the Yutste, New Hajj. Okay, and after the end, at your period, take your period out. We'll put another word there. Okay, space OHSERA, and that's the years. Osera, period.
That, no.
Okay, then you keep Nistaha. We don't have to break that.
I'm just gonna do something to make the reading easier.
You keep Nistaha. You keep. Yuki Rori Agwe Gari Wahere, and then
There's something
Oh.
here.
okay, Aga, aka
Okay.
Agari Wase. Okay, Aruni, Janine, Noya, Deyot Tenyo, Deyot Tenyo, okay.
Okay. And then see.
Jini Dewa, okay. Jini Dewa, Weye no, Weye. Jini Dewa Weye no, and then Yungwanu. What happened there?
With the H, yeah.
Yeah, Yungwanu says Srono. Ne Ayede Waxele. Yuki Nistaha, we don't have to change that. And Agowana, we don't have to change that now. This part. So you want to do these in blocks?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we might even, like the last time, we might put something before it or after as we go. It'll just grow.
Okay. All right, I'll read it. Giudoktaje Gowana, Deotstenyu Haje, Ne Saga, Deotstenyu Haje, Opsera.
Oh, okay, wait, I'm having a problem with two words there. Deot Nyun Haje. Can you say that word, Deot Nyun Haje?
Deotstenyu, oh, Deotenyu Haje, Deotenyu Haje.
Okay, all right, I see where we're gonna put a break. Put a break between the two T's.
Instead of here.
Yeah. Yeah, Deot.
Do it to the one on the bottom then.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll read it again. Geodoktaje goana,
Okay.
the extent.
Okay, what?
I
I'm
think
gonna
it's
read
that
it, or you
we're
don't want me to read
breaking
it?
up a little bit.
Okay, alrighty. Can you hear?
Geodoktaje goana, the extenio haje, ne saga, the extenio haje, osera.
Okay, I think we're kind of cutting out there. Couldn't hear you, but all right,
No,
I'm gonna
just-
try it. Geodoktaje goana deotenyon. Oh, what happened?
It's me who was kicked out.
It disappeared completely.
Hang on, hang on. Okay.
Geodoktaje goana deotenyon haje nesaga deotenyon haje osera. Osera?
Osera.
Oser. Oh.
Diotok.
Okay, wait. Ose. Put the break between the E and the R. Let me try that. Deotenyon goana deotenyon haje nesaga deotenyon haje osera. Osera. Yeah. Okay.
Diotoktaje gowana teyottenyo hache nezaka teyottenyo hache osera.
Daje, Gowana, Teyotenyo Haje, Nezaga, Teyotenyo Haje, Osera. Elsa.
Teotoktaje, goana, teotenyo hache, nesaga, teotenyo hache, osera.
Excellent.
Harold.
Geodoktaje goana, deotenyo haje, nesaga, deotenyo haje, osera.
Mark.
Geodoktaje goana teottenyon haje nezaga teottenyon haje osera.
Okay.
Okay, so
Osera.
for today, we're gonna go Stuart, Marie-Claude, Edith, Elsa, Harold, and Mark. Okay.
Circle.
Deotenyon haje. Deotenyon haje.
Yes. You tell me if that's okay, Guayagero.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Let go back up. Let's fix something there in the English. Okay, on the second line, it doesn't say it's the same as the yearly cycle. It says it's the same as the cycles of the year. I know it means yearly cycle, but when we're looking at the words that are actually there, which one's first? Same as the cycles of the year. Cycles of, wait, what's another way that we can write yearly cycles, but to have year afterwards? Same as cycles. Yeah, okay, just like that, cycles of the year. Yeah. And is there something different? What's different here? How come it looks different?
I'm changing it so we can distinguish the English and the Kanienkeha.
Ah, okay. You never did that before. Huh?
No, but it's less
That's,
clumped.
that should have been done a long time ago. That's
Wow.
better that way.
Gotta look for improvements when it's not working.
Yuki nistaha, yuki rori agwe, gari wahere, agari wasiruni, jinine, noya, de yutenu.
Okay, on the second line, Gari Wahare. HE, put the break there after, yeah. Wahere. Gari Wahere. Yeah, okay. Yoki Nista'a, Yoki Rori, Agwe, Gari Wahere, Agari Wasiruni, Sinine. Noya, is that Noya?
Yeah,
Deottenyo.
the one.
Wait, there's something there. I got a problem with Agari Wasiruni. Because when I'm looking at that, if I didn't hear you say it, I see waze. So we gotta fix that. Okay, put a break between the A and the S. And take out the one after that. How does that look?
Okay.
Agariwa Seruni. Yeah, because when we're reading it, like I said, without that there, I could think it's waze. Okay.
Yonki nista'a, yonki rori, agwe, gari wahere, agari waseruni, zinine, noya, teyoteño.
Yonkinista'a, yonkirori, abue, gariwahere, agariwaseruni, tsinine, noya, deyotdeni.
You can estana yo quiero agari muere agari muaceroni sinine noya teyutenu.
Yonkinista'a, yonkirori, agwe, gariwahere, agariwaseroni, sinine, noya, deyotenu.
Yunkinistana, Yunkirori, Agwe, Garhiwahere, Agariwaseroni, Sinine, Noya, Teyottanyun.
Daniel.
Daniel.
Very good.
Okay, one thing there at the end of Yunki Nista'a, put it right in front of the A. Because I heard, Mark, I heard you put it in there like a nya, na, nya, you know, without the break.
And you tell me again, Wegero, if it's all right.
Yep.
Oh.
Noya.
Before? No, before should be over here, huh? Or no?
Noya is before.
Oh, okay, so it was okay. Okay. But that's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Noya.
Okay. Gini de waweya nota. Gini de waweya nota. Gini de waweya nodo. You want to say srono? Ne?
Sorry about the.
You want to say srono ne? I de waxere. You keep ni staha agowana.
Okay, we're gonna have to fix that first word. Zini, put it after the zini, after the I, N-I.
And I take it from the Z.
Take out that first one. Zini, dewa. Can you say that word again while you're here?
Gini de waweya nota. Gini de waweya nota.
Okay, take out the second one, the dewa. Put it after the W-E, the second one, the dewa. Okay. Zini Dewa way. Second one, the Dewa. Ye Noda. Okay. Zini. Why is it doing that?
it's
Zini
from-
Dewa way. Ye Noda. Dewa way. Okay. Zini Dewa way. Ye Noda. Yung Kwanu Sesrono. Ne aya Dewa Sere. Yung Kinista Aguana.
Zini dewawe yenota yongwanu sesrunu ne ayedewasere yonkinistaa agowana.
Tini de wawe nota, yung wanu sasurono, ne ayete wasere, yankinista a agowana.
Sininte mwe yenota yungwanu saronu ne ayete wasere yukinistana agoena.
Jini Dewa way, Yenota, Yonkunu Sesrunum, Ne Ayetewa Sere, Yonkinista Agawana.
Faust, do you want to pass before me?
Are you the last one?
Yeah, I'm the last one, so pass before me.
Okay, I'll try it. Sini dewane ye nota yung wanu seruno ne aye dewa sere yung kinistaha agwewana. Agowana.
Sini tewawe yenoda, yunkwanu sesrono, ne ayete wasere, yunkinistaa agowana.
Good.
France, did you just get here just now?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I just got,
Okay, so you didn't hear when Warrior Gerdo read this off?
just a little bit. I just read it the way I could say it.
Well, I think collectively, how we've been going over this, you know, to arrange the apostrophes and that so that we can read it. I think we're getting, well, I know we're getting really refined at it, because the way that you read it off, just because you're used to arranging it now that way, you know, reading it, seeing it that way, you read it off really good.
Thank you very much, because yeah, you did it right, because I could read it very well.
See, that's the thing, tiny little adjustments there, like where you put the apostrophe or the comma, whatever it is, it really makes a big difference in the way that you say it. Because for instance, earlier, like I said, that in one like syllable was W-A-S-E. And like I said, for me, when I see that, I see waze. But in the word before, it was wasere. Or no, it was, I forget what it was. Anyways, we just went through this a couple of minutes ago, and it made the big, made all the difference in being able to say the word proper anyways.
Sorry, I was late anyway. I got busy with other things.
You want to go up to remember what it is?
Nah, not necessarily.
No? Okay, so what's next?
What is, oh, wait, what was above it then? Yeah, okay. Okay, the great cycle, same as the cycles of the year. Blah, blah, blah. Our mothers tell us we must have, okay, resolve from the previous cycle before going into the next. The way of the people of Longhouse, follow the voice of our mothers. They tell us to put all unresolved issues into the small fire. For the stirring of the ashes. Does anybody know, what does that mean? A small fire? Anybody won't care to address that? This is where I said earlier that you're gonna see something here that we never talked about before, that was never revealed about the in-between times. Who knows about the stirring of the ashes? Where is that done? Anybody?
Is it between like, there's a 5-day period, like before or after the new moon cycle? Something like that, of the first moon?
You're close to it. If you were shooting darts, you'd be right around that center ring.
Oh,
You wouldn't be an exact bullseye, but you'd be in the ring around the bullseye. Okay,
I don't recall what is the small fire. I didn't know it was a small fire. I don't understand that part.
does anybody know of the stirring of the ashes? Where is the stirring of the ashes done? When? Where? This is the in-between. The stirring of the ashes is the in-between times. It's the transition. Because when you get up to the midwinter, you do not do the official big opening, because officially you are still in the old cycle. It may not be like a complete full part of the cycle. You know, if best example I'll give, I'll show you something. Hang on. Is that all the way around, it's like the same mass, the same size basically. But when it comes back around to touch, to connect, like to complete, like if it was a cycle, then right at the very end, it looks like it's still all just one, but there's actually less mass to it. It's not as much mass or size as the previous. It's just small right there. This is the Aduma, not the Aduma, the stirring of the ashes, sorry, where it's done before the opening. There is a small opening, and then to stir the ashes, to leave those unresolved issues in the previous year, not to bring them with you. So the Aduma, again, why am I saying Aduma? Well, I don't know why that's on my mind. Aduma. We'll find out why soon. Okay, anyways, within the stirring of the ashes, that the ashes are stirred, and then the fire is taken out, and then the new fire. So this is an in-between. When you get there, it's like I said, you go through the whole cycle and then you're there. But it's like having, you get to the door and there's a vestibule. That's a time of transition, a time where you have to prepare yourself. Let's say you're going into somebody's house and you're going there for a big dinner or whatever, you know, you're going to see your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and you go knock on a door, they'll let you in. Now you're in the vestibule. You're not really in their house yet, but you're there now. You're like in the safety of where you were intending to go. But being in the vestibule, this is where you would tuck your shirt in, you know, check to see if everything's okay, fix your hair, you know, you make yourself ready, clear your throat, clear the snot out of your eyes and even clear out your ears, you know, so that you'd be perfectly functioning. This is the role of the stirring of the ashes. And so this is where you can see that the stirring of the ashes, it's not a part of, you're at the midwinter, but it's not a part of the midwinter. It's a part of the previous cycle. But the previous cycle is done. So this is an in-between time. So right now we are in that in-between time. Into the small fire for the stirring of the ashes. Okay, yeah, and then we'll go to the next one.
Okay. Yuki Roris. Yuki Roris. Gotni. Gadzon ha. Gotni Gadzon. Gotni Gadzon ha. And then yeah. Chat de. Yungwari. Wayandam. Wayandam nona. Daye wait. Not it changed to take the A out and the I. It'll be TEN, don't walk. Break it right there. Don't walk, go. Don't walk, go.
With the
At
H.
the H, at the H, don't walk, go. Rawoye, don't walk, go, rawoye. Okay? I'll read it. Yukiroris, Gonigatsaha, ya. Chat de Yungwari Hoya down. No, the walk, go, rawoye.
Okay, at the end, put in brackets. W A apostrophe IE. Yeah, that's just right. No, at the end of the Kanienkeha, not the English.
Well, I didn't know that you would say something in Kanienkeha. Can you say that word again?
The walk, go, rawoye.
Okay, so you're talking about the pronunciation here. This.
Yeah, put put an RA in front of it so that it does the whole thing. Why is it so small?
Well, it's just so people don't think that they can pronounce it too. You know, it's more related to pronunciation. We have never really added anything about
Make it bigger. It's in brackets anyway, so I gotta be able to see it. I can't even see it. And put an R, the RA in front of it.
RA?
Yeah. See, because anybody who's gonna read that, they're gonna say rawenye, rawenye, rawenye. The N is silent. Is there something that you do over a word, over a letter to make it silent, to make it appear silent? Is there a line that you put over the N or something?
I think they do, but I don't.
Does anybody know? Okay.
When they follow the rules of the French, then they start putting roofs over it and
Okay, Yunki Lourdes, Kanienkeha, ya, Jade Yunkra, Roar. Man, I can barely see that.
Chate yung guari huwayan daon.
Jade Yunkwari Wayanda, Nona, Don Waga, Rawayan,
Oye,
Rawayan.
Yokiroris.
I'm coming.
I gotta say, I don't understand why we would even put an N in there.
it has to be in there. Oye, ra oye, one, or else it'll be weye.
That N in there really screws me up. Okay, anyways, see what you can do.
Yonkiroris, Kanienkeha, ya, Jate Yonkwari Wayantaun, Nona, Don Wagon Rawani.
Yonkiroris, Kanienkeha, ya, Chiate Yunkwari Wayan Daon, Nona, Danwakarawani.
Yukironis. Sorry. Yukironis. Kanienkeha. Ya. Jate yung kwari yung mayanta nona nang rawa. Oh shit.
Oye,
Can you say it again?
the what gun ra oye. Oye,
Yonkiroris, Kanienkeha, ya, Jate Yonkwari Wayanta Nona, Don Wagon Rawanye.
that's right on the money there, amigo.
Amigo.
You
Is
got
it my turn?
Yeah, amigo.
Yunkiroris, Kanienkeha, ya, Tiade Yunkwari Wayanda Hon, Nona, Danwakant Rawanye.
Yunkiroris, Gani Gatsahaa, ya, Jate Yunkwari Wayantau, Nuna, Don Wagan Rawani. Roye, sorry.
I think I know how we can fix that. Put a comma in. Oh, what the hell just happened?
A comma where?
I don't know, where are we now? Oh, okay. The last word between the N and the I.
Yeah.
That will fix it.
oye.
Rawaye.
Last night I watched a 5-part series on the Onondagas, and Audrey Shenandoah was talking, and she was talking in Onondaga, and I understood everything she said, but the only thing is her words, some of them were cut. Almost a third of it was removed, but I understood what she meant because I speak Kanienkeha. For her to listen to me, she might be saying, "What is he saying?" But I think she would understand me. So I know there's not a big difference until you get to the Senecas, then it changes.
Hey, Mark, can you say that last line again?
Tawaga Rawanye. Wanye, yeah.
You're right. Rawoye.
Rawanye, yeah.
It's easy. It's a lot easier with that apostrophe there like that. Okay.
For the
so-
English, Guayaquil, is that breaking up correctly?
Yeah.
So you know what? The bracket part, we can take that out of there. That'll just confuse them.
Yeah. Haga gris.
Okay, so okay, that's the last thing. We don't have nothing else there.
No.
Okay, this is how we leave issues in the past. We resolve issues and leave them in the past.
You want to say something else?
Oh yeah, okay. This is how we resolve issues and leave them in the past. If we do not do this, then our mothers may do it for us. This will expose us as not being able to take care of our own affairs. So right there, you can see that in this transition of stirring the ashes, this is a very crucial part to having a person resolve issues, leave issues in the past, knowing they can never bring them up again. And this being how a person takes care of their own affairs. So stirring up the ashes is a key part as to what makes a person eligible, qualified to hold a chieftainship title, because a chieftainship title must be a person who is able to handle all of their own, to keep their affairs in order. Now, this is much different from what the way people know it today. They would think, okay, balance your checkbook, balance your bank account, register your vehicles, make sure you got your will done, that kind of stuff. These kind of things are nonsense. This is not anything about our human affairs. So everybody today is left scrambling to try thinking that they're tying up loose ends when they're actually creating loose ends for themselves. They're actually opening up those loose ends.
This is added on, Edith.
Yeah, it's the last part.
So when a person doesn't have stirring up the ashes in their life, then this means that a person or the society that doesn't have that has a lot of unfinished business. That means a lot of business was not concluded, meaning of course, if you had a bad relations with somebody that, let's say in your family, and you said, oh, the hell with you, and you said, the hell with you, and you just went away from each other and you just didn't talk. Well, when it comes time for the midwinter and the natural cycles create the transition, this is where the person will bring, without them knowing it, they'll bring that problem with them into the next cycle. And it'll be something that most people don't even realize. They're bringing traumas from their childhood. They're bringing problems, a fight that they had with a friend when they were 15 years old, an argument that they had with their first girlfriend, a dispute or a fight that they had with their first husband or wife in their first divorce. That people are bringing these things with them, meaning they're guaranteed to repeat the same problems over and over. When you don't have a stirring of the ashes, you have an accumulation of negativity that builds up, builds up in the individual, where it becomes a pressure on the mind, where after a while, you don't even know it. You're just having some kind of maybe depression, or you're having some kind of psychosis that you don't know what you're experiencing or why you're experiencing. And so for such a person, there is no way to resolve the issue. The person will end up going to a psychologist or psychiatrist, and what are they gonna do? They're gonna do jack for you, because they're the ones with the worst psychological problems. So this process of this ceremony of stirring the ashes is provided to the children by the parents to show the children from the time that they are able to remember of how to evolve, how to move out of problems, how not to have the rubber band effect, you know, where these problems keep coming back, slapping you. So stirring up the ashes is much more than what anybody thinks, and especially the people of today who do it. They got no clue what or why they're doing what they're doing. They're just going through some thing that they don't understand. Okay, are we
Yeah, we are. There.
go after the H? Their body.
You're breaking it up? Goniot. Goniot dewari waserunis. Dewari wase runis dano yodo headstone. I don't think we have to break that. Yodo headstone.
Even that one there, because it makes that wase, it makes it a waze. For me, when I see that, I see waze. We don't need a break there. We'll take.
Okay.
It's just a question where I get to, if I say that the wari, does that say anything for you?
If you say what?
That the wari.
The wari.
That the wari. That
The
mean
wari.
She says sate with an
Sate.
S-A-T-E.
Tate, like with T-A-T-E.
Sate wari.
Yeah. No?
No.
Okay, it's because in Nawa, that the wari is fire. So it just jumped
Oh,
into.
okay.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, sorry about that commercial.
Wari is Mary for one, because of Christianization, Wari. And then Yori is to cook. Wari. With the Wari that we cooked. Whatever.
So there is a fire there.
Wow.
Okay. Gahniot te wari wasarunis dano yodo hetsu.
Yeah,
De wari wa seruni dano yotohetsu.
Kanio de wariwaserunis dano yodohetston.
Johnny, te wari waseronis danu yo to esto.
Unio Darwari Wasarun Stano Yoto Hetston.
No, Nio Dewari Waseronis Dano Yodo Etstun.
Geniot Tewari Waseronis Danu Yothetstun. Circle.
Yodo, Hetston.
Oh, Yudo Hetstu.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, Daya, and then we don't break that. Daya, Tonodon, Tono,
Don, do we need an N here?
Tono, Dewayere,
No.
Daya, Tono Dewayere, Zok, Yukitni Staha, and we'll on, right at EN. Onye Rihwa Seruni. Daya, Tono Dewayere, Zok, Yukitni Staha, Onye Rihwa Seruni.
Dahya, Tona de Wayari, Zok, Yunki Nista'a, Yeri Waseruni.
Daya dona te wayere sok yonkinista on yeri wa seruni.
Da, ya, donen te wayere, zok, yunkinista anieri waseruni. Oh, I think Elsa was kicked out by her internet. I don't see her. Go ahead, Harold, and we'll let her in when she comes back.
Da Ya Dona Dewa Yeda Zok Yonkini Staa On Yeriwa Seroni.
Da Ya Dona Dewa Yere Sok Yunkinistaha An Yeriwa Seroni.
Elsa, you still there?
No, she hasn't
No.
come back.
All right then. Tahya Tona Tewayere Suk Yunkinista Yerhiwa Seroni.
Okay.
Circle.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna put something right after that, like when we were children.
Okay, Edith, right. See the walk. S-I. S-I. No, not T.
Didn't you put it down below?
See the walk. Put apostrophe right there. See the walk.
Uh-huh.
And Sa'o. Gum'a. Like when we were children.
Yikes.
O de wari wasiruni si the walk Sa'o Gum'a.
Anderi Waseruni, Side Waksa Oguma.
On yeri wa seruni si de wak sayongonha.
Anieri waseruni si de waksa ogun.
On Yeriwa Seroni Sitewak Saagoa.
Da Ya Dona Te Ware Sok Yunki Nistaha Ane Riwa Seroni Si dewak so o kunha.
Okay. Yerhiwa Seroni Sidewak Saokuna.
Okay, eat it.
Yeah.
See the walk so ogua. Before that, put this a separate word though. TSININE. Sinina, yeah. That's like when we were children. So you Sinina si the walk so ogua.
See, imagine you're a grown man, or better example would be you're 19 years old and you had a big fight with a friend or with somebody close to you. And you had this fight in the summertime. Well, right around now, your mother would know if you resolved that or not. And she would say, did you resolve that? She would present it to you like she's asking you, knowing that you didn't. Did you resolve that yet? No. Okay, well, you only have another week, 2 weeks at the most to resolve this. Okay, so the mother would feel comfortable in knowing that the son is going to go and resolve this. Now, when it comes time for the stirring of the ashes, if that young man did not identify that he puts this in the past behind him now, if he does not say that, then the mother knows that he did not resolve that issue. And if the mother knows that he did not resolve that issue, then she has the right to step forward and resolve that issue for her son. So it would look like this. You would know, like, let's say everybody gets their turn to come to this point right in front of everybody and say, okay, these are the issues I put behind me now. This is what happened to me this year, and I put this behind me. So you see me come there and you see me talk about the small stuff, but you know, I didn't address this big issue that I had this fight with my friend. I didn't address it. Everybody sees it. So then my mother would come there and identify that I cannot, in her own words, I cannot have my son going into the next cycle with unresolved business where he's going to be bringing that old negative, that old corruption into the new cycle. I can't afford to have this on my son. So I identify that my son has been involved in this issue with this person and that they have not resolved it, that we put this into the fire for resolution to have this done now so that neither one is going to bring up any bad ill feelings of this. And while this is going on, it's going on in front of her son and in front of the other person, whoever that person may be. So now they both know that they cannot bring this up now because the mother has resolved it. The mother had to come forward and resolve it. If either one of those bring it up now, they are breaking law. Now that is because they were not man enough to resolve it themselves as of the deadline, which is the stirring of the ashes. So this would then mean that because the mother went through the process to find out, did her son resolve this issue? And he said no. And then when it came time where it was at that flashpoint of the ceremony where to do it, and she sees that he didn't do it, then she's got to do it for him. This means that her son is irresponsible. This then means that her son has disqualified himself from the eligible qualified candidates of chieftainship title. So that person removes themselves through not resolving their issues. They are the living example of irresponsibility. They're the living example of corruption. And so those people can never be considered for any type of position. And so you can see then, when the people have a stirring of the ashes, it's not you can call it anything, because it's called stirring of the ashes. People don't relate to it. They relate that it's something about the fire. And if it's human stuff, you think that there's some magical process of, oh, we put something in the fire and there's some mysticism there. No, there isn't. It's a matter of actually standing in front of the people and doing this. So we could call it the hot dog ceremony. And somebody's there barbecuing their hot dogs, but at that time, they have to resolve, while they're barbecuing their hot dog, they got to resolve these issues. So regardless of what anybody would call it or refer to it as, the fact is that the non-native society does not have this mechanism of human evolution, of collective human evolution. They don't have it. So this means that everybody in the non-native society is continuously devolving themselves, because they are bringing problems that are unresolved, and they may think that, oh, I left it in the past, so I'm not bringing it. So they're not bringing it with them. No way. If there is something that you did not resolve, you're not leaving it in the past. If you got into a fight with somebody and you just said, well, I'll never talk to that person again, and I'm leaving it in the past. That's not leaving it in the past. That's just a stubborn-headed idiot believing that their fear is a way to deal with real things that have happened. No, fear does not address things. It doesn't address it takes bravery to address things. And so it takes a brave people to address corruptions in their past on a yearly basis. But just think of this, if you didn't have it, and imagine if you only had it on a decade basis or a century basis. Well, in that time, there'd be so much corruption built up within the people that nobody would even know their ass from their elbow after a certain period of time. So within the ceremonial cycle of the Longhouse, the stirring of the ashes is not even within the 13 ceremonies. It's not even within there. It's outside of it. It's in between the last cycle and the beginning of this cycle. That's where it is. So what it is, it's where, like if you're making a rope 1,000 feet long, you know that there's no string that's 1,000 feet long. So you can only put it so far, and then you have to splice another string to it. And then that string gets wrapped around the core of a rope to eventually build a solid rope that looks like there's no breaks in it, but it can last for 1,000 miles. And so this is the in-between. It's the stirring of the ashes that takes a bit from the old to tie it onto the new. But you must go through the cleansing so that the part that's tied on is strong. It's not going to be weak. It's not going to fall apart and decay and just break. So Aduma, again, why am I saying Aduma? This is kind of like in the past month and a half, I've been saying, what the heck was Gundidio. And then Wayagerdu and I had a conversation about Gundidio, and as you know, led to last week's class. So anyways, as we go on, we're going to find out something about Aduma. It's very close anyways. That's within, I'd say it's about 18 days from now. Aduma, not too sure, but it's very close from now. Okay, anyways, where are we?
Elsa just came back and she didn't say it. So Elsa, if you're there, you want to try it?
Te vayera son quienes están ayer igual Seroni Sinina si te vas con Sauguna.
That's perfect.
Okay,
And
what's
she
that?
didn't hear it.
Yeah.
This goes to show you're learning how to read it. You're getting to know how to read the language. That's good.
Yeah.
Yunk. Yunk. After the K. Oh, wait, Yunk. No, that's Guaya. Yeah.
Gigon yung goya da do. Yung goya da do gun. Yung goya da do gun. And then what's yeah? Okay. It's IA. Take the S out. Yeah. Okay. Tired. Taye. Okay. It's THIE.
Where?
Right at the beginning.
CHA, then IE, not IA.
Oh, okay.
Tayeri. Okay, then TATER. Take it right out.
Where? T.
The Tate, T-A-T-E, Tate.
Take it out. Tayeri Waseruni. Tayeri Waseruni.
So I take this out too.
We take what out?
I took the en.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay. En, that's good. Tayeri Waseruni. Okay. Gigon Yugoyata Dogon. Yugoyata Dogon. Ne. Gon. Gigon Yugoyata Dogon. Oh, it's EN, not NE. Okay. EN. Gigon Yakta Yugoyata Dogon. Yakta Tayeri Waseruni.
Giga, ayun goya dado ga ya tayeri waseruni.
Giga ayuguaya tadugaha ya tayeri waserun.
Giga anyuwaya dadogaan ya tayeri waseruni.
Gigon anyong kwayato tatwang ya tayeri waseroni.
Mm-hmm.
Ego. On you wa ya dato gon on. Ya da yeri wasuru.
Gigan ayong kwaya dado ganhan ya da yeri wasaroni.
Giga anyum guaya dadogaa ya da yeri waseroni.
Good.
Circle.
Is that correct like that way, Agero?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
This will make us, or this will disqualify us from being able to hold any position of influence within the nation. So as you can see, it's not just about what a person does in this world, it's about what they don't do. So you could be as good as you want, doing good things all the time. But if there's things that you don't do that has to be done in order for you to evolve, then you become disqualified from holding important positions, meaning political office, or even to be a singer. that you won't even be a lead singer in anything. So it's very important for a person to be able to know what are the responsibilities of a human in this world, because there's a lot of people who have no clue what the responsibilities are. You're just living. Everybody is just living, and you think nothing about evolution. On a daily basis, nobody thinks anything about evolution. But on a daily basis, we truly are the mechanism of evolution. Now just think, if we are constantly having our heads stuck up our rear ends in war, then we are never evolving. So to look at evolution is something new for society. It's something that you have to start to do. Am I an active part of evolution? Or are you an active part of devolution? Because right now, as you know, the whole world is devolving, and it's happening because humans are doing it. So each and every person has a critical responsibility in the world to make sure that they are doing all these things, that they are not connected to corruption, and that they are doing the things that evolves, not just themselves. What the hell good is it if you evolve, if you become smart, but you do not expand that into the world? Then it just means that, hey, you're smart, and you know that you've gained knowledge while other people don't. This would then mean that you are putting yourself in a position of influence to take advantage over people. You would then become a dictator. This is in fact what has happened in the world through, as you know, people who hoard knowledge. So the Gayana Rasa Raskana Goa is the exact opposite of hoarding. It's about identifying what is there for everyone. And it's everybody's responsibility that once you discovered a well, a fountainhead coming up out of the ground or out of a mountain, would you keep that secret to yourself? Or would you tell your family? Would you tell your people? You would tell. You
just hit on to something interesting there. See, by sharing it and telling other people, then you don't need police because you police yourself. If you're truly who you say you are. Because everybody right now everybody's but we know they're not, because they're unable to police themselves.
Write this really fast before we forget it. This collective process enables the people to evolve together in knowledge and police themselves. Oh, wait a minute, while you're here, the police themselves. Let's leave that, we'll put that in brackets in English. So in Kanienkeha, instead of police, which there's no word anyways, but
yes, we would just say is how to carry yourself. You don't need police.
Okay. And then in brackets we put police ourselves.
Okay, you want to do the other one first before we go to this?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. Giga, on you guayat don't how. On you guayat don't how. Wite. On you guayat don't how wite. Ayedewa. Ayedewa. Dedi. Ayedewa dedi hunda ungwanagera. Guanagera. Okay, take the H out. No, we don't need it. Guanagera Serago. Giga Ayugoya Tahawite, Idewa Dedi Hunda, Guanagera Serago.
Oh, excuse me. Giga Ayugoya Tahawite, Ayadewa Dedi Hunda, Ongwanagara, Ongwanagara, Serago.
Yeah, Guanagara Selago.
Gigan an yongwaya tanha wite ayete wateri hodan ongwanagera serago.
Giga anyong waya dan hawite ayete wateri honda unwanagera serago.
Chichong ayung waya tan ayung waya nongha vite ayetema te honda huta ongwanagera seragu.
Igon, Ongongwa, Ya Donha, Wita, Ayetewa, Deri Honda, Ongwa, Nagra Sarago.
Well read, Harold.
Giga ayong kiwaya dan ha wite ayede wateri unda unkwana kera serago.
Yana.
Giga, Anyukwaya Tanha Wite, Ayete Wateri Junta, Ungwanagera Serago.
Okay.
Joseph, do you want to try it?
Sure. Kikan on en ayon kwaya tenhawite e awita terihontan on kwang nakera seragon.
Okay, you know what? The last word, Ongwanagara, Ongwana. Right there, put a, yeah. Ongwanagara Serago. Wait. Ayede Waderi Hundu, Ongwanagara Serago. Yeah, easier to read that way. Okay.
And Wayagiro, for breaking it in the English, where should I break it for it to fit under anyong waya dan hawite?
This will disqualify us.
Okay.
You see that these are words or these are concepts that people don't have in their minds. They don't understand evolution. They don't understand about being qualified or disqualified on a daily basis to know that something behaviorally can disqualify us from holding position of influence, could disqualify you even from having your voice being heard in council. So this is things that your average person never thinks about on a daily basis as to, wait a minute, this thing I'm just about to do, it can disqualify me. Now, what if you didn't know of qualification and disqualification? And so therefore, when you get to that juncture, not knowing about it, you just continuously do things that disqualify you. Now, disqualify you from what? Now, for us, within the Longhouse, we got a set of laws that for everybody, it's known, you do this, you don't do that. And it's mostly don't do's. You know, don't do this, don't do that, don't do this, don't destroy stuff, don't kill, don't hurt, don't cut down the trees, don't pollute the water, you know. So there's don'ts in everything, in every aspect of our humanity. Now, how many people know that in every aspect of your humanity that there is a don't there? There is a don't do it. There is either a yes, it's correct, or a don't do it, it's incorrect. And if you do what's incorrect, you will be disqualified. This is not something that is there in the non-native world. And so you just think of what's wrong with the non-native world. Why are they repeating themselves over and over, every generation making the same mistake as the generation before them? And why are all of them acting like or identifying like they're not responsible. Like whatever was done a long time ago. Nobody is ever responsible for anything in the non-native world because of they don't have these mechanisms of evolution. If you don't have it, you got no clue that it's time to evolve. You got no clue how to do it. Can't say how many because there's none, but you can say that every time the midwinter rolls along, is there any non-native people that are saying, oh, it's time to stir the ashes. Time for me to deal with all my issues from the previous year to make sure that I don't bring them with me into the next year. Time for me to do this. How many non-native people have ever even thought about that, entertained that? None. It's not there. So you see that these words tonight, the way that we're speaking of them, what the spirit was tonight, led us in this direction, led us to discover something which we never identified before, but which was always there, which we already know. Always known about that the Adunwa is, in fact, everybody knows it's the little fire. Take out the little fire. Again, I said Adunwa. Again. Why in the hell would I keep saying Adunwa at the stirring of the ashes? Anyways, like I said, we're going to find that out. But I forgot what I was just saying now. Okay, we're going to continue. Getting lost.
Okay. Giga dewa nigun ra nero. Giga dewa nigun ra nero. Ungue. Skatne. Aye dewa tatawi sege.
Okay, we're going to fix that second word. They want to go ra nero. Put the break.
Take the H out, number 1.
And put the break right there. Right there.
Dewa nigun ra nero.
And take out the second one. Yeah. Ranera. No, rane. And then between the E and the R. Ranera. They want to go rane.
No. Giga dewa nigun ra nero. Ungue. Skatne. Aye dewa tatawi sege.
Okay. Giga, they want to go ranera. Ungue, skatne, ayadewa tatawisege.
Okay, with this word, what if we do this? You tell me.
Ayadewa dat awasige.
Awisege.
Ayadewa dat awisige. Wayagero, can you say that word?
Aye dewa tatawi sege.
Yeah. Sure.
Giga dewa nigun ranera ungue skatne ayetewa dat awisege.
Giga de waniguranera unwe skatne ayetewata hawizege.
Giga dewa nigun kuranera. Ungue skatne ayetewata wisenge.
Dat hawi sege.
Ayetewata wisenge.
Okay, very good.
Gigo, Dewani go Ranero, Ungue Skatne, Ayete Wata, Luisike.
Giga dawa nigun naranera ungue skatne ayede wata awisege.
Giga, Dewanigu Ranera, Ungue, Skatne, Ayete Watat Hawisege.
Igon, Tewani Kon Raneren, Ongwa, Skatne, I Itewata Tawisige.
Okay, so, oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Okay, so the stirring of the ashes ties together the old and the new, and is a collective evolution of or for the people of the Longhouse. Of, for, whichever he comes up with. And anybody who's ever heard the Stirring of the Ashes song, you know, it literally is, it's like hearing a death song. It's like a mourning song where it's literally sounding like you're walking the past, literally like you're walking them to the grave where they're going to be buried. This is the song of the Stirring of the Ashes. But at the same time, in it, it's weird because it is a for anybody who ever sings it, it has that sensation or feeling of like mourning, but then whoever sings it, when you sing that, it's a thing of I don't know, like inside you can feel like a rejuvenation, like it's like from a sacred start, like you're setting yourself back in order.
Okay, the walk going to one the Iguaneros Agayo, Dano Aze, the Wado, the Wadorohum, Ungue, Uguanu, Sesrona.
That Aze, put a one in between the A and the S.
Just a sec. Aze.
Aze. Okay. Dewa Garda Weye?
One. Oh, one. W-E-N. Sorry. The walk going to one.
Dewa Garda Weye? Deyo Guanaras Agayo Dano Aze Dewa Do Rohu Ongwe Yunkwa no Sesrono.
Dewagora Wanye, de Yonguaneros, Agayon, Dano, Aze, Dewadorongo, Ongwe, Yonguanu Sesurono.
De Wagarawanye, de Yonguanerans, Agayo, Dano, Ase, de Wadoroho, Unwe, Yonguanu Sasurono.
Te wakara mani. Te guaneros. Agayo. Danu ase te wadoro. Ongwe. Yunguanus Sesrono.
Good.
They were gone Ravoni. The young Wanarums. Agayum, Danon Aze Dawato Rohum, Ongi, Yongwanu, says Ronan.
Dewagan Rawanye, Deyon Guanerans, Aguayon, Dano Ase, Dewadorum, Ongwe, Yunqua Num Seruno.
Ewakara Wanye, Teun Quaneras, Agayu, Danu, ase te wadoro ungwe yungwanu sesrono.
Could
Dewa Kenrawane, Geon Quanarens, Ekon Dananase, Dewatorohon, Onque, Eon Quananses Ronon.
very good.
Okay, so what time are we?
4 to 9.
Okay, so this is where Wyatt was gonna read it off and they gotta record it so everybody knows, keep your microphones off for.
Just a second, let me
Ma
see.
chérie. Ah, ça me dit quelque chose de me frotter les jambes avec ça. Lui, là, qui aurait mis oxygéné, là. Ça, je me sers de ce temps-ci.
Okay, I'm gonna mute
Ça vient de collant.
on. Okay, so I'm going up. Whenever you're ready, Wyatt.
Okay. Giadoktaje Goana, de Utenu Haje, Ne Saga, de Utenu Hanje Osera. We approach the end of the great cycle. The transition is the same as the cycles of the year. Yuki Nistaha, Yuki Rori Agwe, our grandmothers tell us that all Gari Wahire, Agari Wasiruni, Jinine, Noya, Yotenu, resolved from previous cycles before going to the next. Chinite wawe anoda, Yugonu sesrono, ne aidawasile, Yuki nistaha gowana, the way of the people, the long house to follow our mother's voice. Yuki roris, ganigatzaha aya, chat de yungwari wayadam, nono, the wagonrawaya. They tell us to put all unresolved issues in the small fire for the stirring of the ashes. This is how we resolve issues and leave them in the past. Daya tuna the wire zokyuki nistaha, ayeri wasiruni tinine sidwaksa ogoa. If we do not do this, then our mother may do it for us, like when we were children. Okay. Gigan, ayiguayat da doga, ya tayeri wasiruni, to take care of our affairs. Oh, this will not expose us for being able to take care of our affairs. Giga, Oyugwa Yatahawite, Ayedwa Derihundo, Ugwanagara Serago. This will disqualify us from being able to hold position within the nation. Okay, Giga, Gidawani Goranaro, Ungwe, Skutne, Aidawada Tawisage. This collective process enables the people to evolve in a knowledge to police themselves. Okay, the walk on the way. The Yunguan, the Sagayu, Dano Aze, the Wadarohum, Ungwe, Yuganu Sesrono. So the stirring of the ashes ties together the old and new in a collective evolution of the people of the Longhouse.
That's it?
Yeah. I'm just gonna bring,
Are we unmuted?
yes, the part that you said that had to be changed is this one, resolve issues.
I think so, yeah. Right there, Wire Garrett, the top line. Yonki Yordis, Gani Gadzaha. Yeah, what Gani Gadzaha? What does
The
that mean?
small fires.
Okay,
So-
where is unresolved issues?
Jag tror att det går i dam.
No, so it's a,
Okay, that's good. Okay, they tell us to put in the small fire.
mhm. Yikes.
That ya should go in front of ya j. Bring ya down off of the first line, put it on the second line.
Yikes. Why-
Is that okay there like that while you're getting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so this is for everybody to know that the reason why we're talking about this tonight is because the stirring of the ashes is coming up in, I don't know exactly, it's within 10 to 14 days, something like that. And this is where collectively it's like we've been talking about in here, it's an evolution process. Now, if you don't believe in the midwinter, you don't believe, if you don't know where the new year start, just imagine in your own cycle of things, no matter where you are on the earth, maybe you'll start the year from your birthday, who knows, but you'll have something in your mind which represents this is where the year starts, this is where, oh, it's a complete cycle now. So just go to that place and think of that place in your mind where, oh, the cycle's complete. And so just think that, well, you don't want to bring any corruptions. You don't want to bring any wrongs, any fights, any problems, any issues. You don't want to bring that with you into the next. So just right there at that place, you think of your own evolution, evolving out of these things. Shrug it off of you, like the way that what we were talking about, how a lobster or a snake sheds its, the lobster sheds its shell, or the snake, that the snake will go like that on the leaves and the sticks and the brushes to where it can catch on to that old stuff to take it off. So shrug it off. You be that thing that is shrugging off all of the old corruptions, and to cleanse yourself, to know that you are becoming something new. So whenever, if you did get rid of old corruptions, automatically that makes you something new. If you ain't got those corruptions, then you're something that you weren't before. So just think about this, everybody. Midwinter is coming up very soon. If you don't have that ceremony, then you never heard of midwinter. And if you have midwinter, then you never heard of the stirring of the ashes, of the little fire and the big fire, and the transition of how you're supposed to take out the little fire and bring in, restart the new, rekindle the new fire, and then cross the fires. A lot of stuff to it, it's basically rebuilding the human. Every time we get to this stage, like if you started at midnight, you built the human right there. They went off the factory production line, come around 24 hours later at midnight, boom, they're there for renewal. Well, that's where, all of that stuff is a constant evolution process. And Guyana Skanagoa is the greatest thing to assist or facilitate individual and collective evolution. Actually, there is nothing else that facilitates evolution, not on a individual or collective level. The only thing that facilitates that is actual Guyana Skanagoa. Okay, so everybody, Nyawagoa, who is with us tonight? Hey, okay, you know what? We asked a lot of times for each person to do the closing. And I think we probably went around a couple of times now in the times that we've been doing this. So I know that we didn't have Wayagerdo do the closing.
But before closing, I hadn't seen France raise her hand.
Okay,
Go ahead, let her do it, let her do it.
I just want to ask a question regarding the present time that we are in. Like, suppose, for instance, somebody has an issue with us and they don't tell us, so we don't know they do. What would be what would be our position on this? And also, since a lot of people don't even know about that, I mean, how can we hold them accountable for something they don't know?
okay, as you see, within the Longhouse, everybody has their responsibility for themselves and their own actions. Stirring up the ashes is our own. Our mother or our father does that for us up until the time that they see that we can go on our own. And when we do, then it's the individual's actions. So if you're talking about somebody who's got a problem with you that you're not aware of, then that's not about your evolution, it's about theirs. So you focus on yours, all your issues that you know were unresolved. So this is where a person has to be very self-scrutinizing. You have to be very honest with yourself. Yes, I have this issue. Yes, I was a jerk to this person. Oh, here I was too lenient, too forgiving, whatever. Even though that doesn't sound being bad, being too lenient would actually allow bad into you and thereby affect family. So thereby that is a thing that needs to be corrected. So you focus on your stuff. And if, like I said, somebody's got an issue with you, that's them who's got to evolve through that. And so a way to address that, where somebody wants to be completely clean and not leave any back doors open, well, you could just address it and say, if there is anybody who has any issue with me that they did not pursue to resolve, then I stir these issues in the fire right now. Because if they didn't take the official action, then that is their fault, their own devolution. So if just in case, let's say somebody's got their hook in you and they don't even want to tell you, but they got this hate for you, and you're just wondering what the hell's wrong with this person. Well, this is how you get free of such infantilism. You identify it that way. If somebody has issue with me that I am unaware of and that they have not been adult enough to approach me and to address this, then I relieve myself of any connection, such corrupted connections. So that way, your mind would be free of responsibility.
That's not hate though, that's envy. If somebody, because we know we have a tendency to say it's hate, but if you're doing something right, say you changed your life around, like you just changed something you knew about yourself wasn't right, then people will hold you to that because maybe they can't change with you, so they'll envy you. And envy and hate is like there's transparent, there's a thin line there, and you cannot ever stop envy. You can eliminate hate but not envy. It's kind of like it's got a spot all by itself.
Now that you mentioned this is kind of like in an engine. After a while, the wear and tear, little shards of whatever, metallic shards would fall into the oil system. And this is the reason why in the bottom of oil pans, the bolt, the drain plug is magnetized. Anybody ever take the drain plug out of an oil pan and you'll feel, hey, this is heavy. And you'll see there's all metallic shards on it because it's a magnet. So it attracts all of that stuff to it. So that magnet in an engine is like the Aduma. The wear and tear is where there is not proper lubrication. not proper maintenance of the engine, of the mechanics of it. So in this case, every moving part, meaning every person, is responsible for their own oiling of their joints, of their gears, of that, you know, taking care of their own stuff. So when you said about, and we think of that, we know that within the Longhouse, it's a challenge. We're challenging each other to improve ourselves, to be the best that we can. Now, sometimes when people can't do that, let's say like we're climbing a mountain. Okay, one person can climb to the top, the other person can't, just standing there. Hey, I can't do that. Well, okay, now let's just say that's part of our evolution. Then this is where that person stands there and saying, and in envy that I can't do that. That envy is a negative. That negative is like, again, in an engine that has wear and tear, and a shard of the piston wall of the cylinder comes off, because where the oil ring on the piston is rubbing on the cylinder wall, maybe just right there where the connection is on the oil ring on the piston, maybe just right there, it's catching and it scrapes, which is in fact what happens to engines. So that part right there needs the lubrication. It needs to manage itself. So every person needs to manage themselves so that they do not become those shards of metallic shards that end up in the bottom of the oil pan to be washed out. You know, so if each person does it in the Longhouse, does their job, there is no envy. There is no anger, no aggression, no hate. You have actually the perfect existence for humans. When the non-native came here, this is what they seen. The perfect existence for humans, where there is no pressure on anyone to be anything that they're not, where there is no pressure at all. Nothing pushing you, forcing you into doing anything. Nothing subduing you and enslaving you to being relegated to do the work on behalf of somebody else. No, when they came here, they seen the perfect existence for humans, even identifying their religious people. It was actually the Jesuits who wrote that when they seen the native people, they were the closest thing to godliness they have ever seen, that they have ever witnessed. Now you think of this, the Jesuits, well, warmongers, but by the time the Jesuits got here, they had already been all around the world. And for them to say the closest thing to godliness that they have ever witnessed identifies the truth, you know, because these Jesuits are the representative of the devil. And their devil has to go around and kill what is good. And so they have identified the closest thing to godliness is what they have to kill. And so you don't see them all around the world today having to go and kill the people in Europe. Don't have to kill them. They're the ones who are subdued. Where are they still killing? Here. They're still killing here after 500 years, still trying to kill the people, the person that they know is living in balance, that has attained Gayandawana. Okay, so very important class tonight. Everybody, I would say, share this with your friends, even have discussion on it. And if you have no one to have discussion on it, then you just ponder this deeply, think deeply about these things, because I am certain, and of course only you can tell me, I'm certain these are things that you have never thought about in your entire life before. Okay, so just the closing then. While you're Gerda, do you feel like doing the closing?
Yeah, okay. Ona ki ari sa kahwan sa tuan hotu ki ko got ki ko chap the rodo. Tana le dan sai tino arado you kini stone hoza. Tana kwego tina hoda dan ki au I haja. Gan to tio hunza denio. Si det karunya denio. O hunza kesu hunza gunsu. Tana kwego tina hoda. Di diri hoye na wago nana skona tinichi a chun hejege. Ona gwi ora honi ta gwegum sa kino morado no gwa so si se ko yo tajes tina hoda ya go diri hoyoni. Sa hanu agi kani ka hawi. Agwe na hoda wa diri hoata jat ne ya tena tai goya again ha. Ona ki are te sa kino morado ne agwe tina hoda. Juhne unwe skatne de doanera. Allora ne skana tinichi ai duanu tunu tusage. Signore noi da situatka. Nyama ko merci, thank you, gracias.
Yeah, all right. Tansija.class, asan Dios.
So Dios, everybody.
Domo
All right,
arigato.
everybody.
Take care of
Aloha.
yourself.
Have a good night.
I love
Ito.
you.